Hello everyone and welcome to yet another Civil 3D Lunch and Learn. Today we are going to cover over corridor models part 1. I'm going to be your host today. My name is Gil Coral. So let's get started on corridors. A corridor is a 3D model representing a path of almost anything from a road design to a railway design. Now corridors are initially created to do just that. Road design, railway design, many kind of basic things like that. But corridors can be used for much more than just doing a road or railway design. Today we're just going to go over the basics. We're just going to do a basic road. Next class we're going to show you how to edit your corridor, change it up, fix it up. So today is basic, real straightforward. What's a corridor? How do you create it? And what do you need to create a corridor? Today we're going to just cover the basics, identifying the components for creating a corridor, creating components for a corridor, and then lastly we're going to create a corridor. Identifying the components to creating a corridor. A corridor needs 5 components to be created. Number 1 is the alignment. Number 2, profiles. 3, subassemblies. 4, assemblies. And lastly, surface. If you're looking at a corridor, I'm going to pull up a corridor real quick in Object Viewer. I think I might have that layer turned off. I'm going to pull it up in Object Viewer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in the 3D form all of the things that create your alignment and the reason why. So click on this alignment or this corridor I've created, right click Object Viewer, and so with this 3D model I'll be able to show you exactly what's needed. First thing is an alignment, which represents the center line right here. I think you can see my cursor right here of your road or your railway design. Second, you're going to need a profile, so let me spin this across here. The profile is the vertical information that represents it's not giving me, okay, why did it not show me what I need? Okay, well anyways, it shows the vertical information you need to create your corridor. A subassembly is a section of assembly such as a shoulder, curb and gutter, road, sidewalk, and also cut to fill to surface information. So it's kind of a cross sections of a cross section of your road, and assembly is just that, a cross section of the entire design road. The last one we're going to do is surface. You need a surface to create the profile. Thus you need the surface to create the corridor, if that makes sense. Creating components for the corridor. Number 1, alignments. Just refer to Alignments 101 on how to create your basic alignment. Profiles. You need a profile view and a profile object. Refer to all about profiles for that particular information. Profile view, if you just refer to that class I was talking about, you'll be able to create a profile view. And the second thing is a proposed profile object. The proposed profile object, which is the vertical alignment of your road. Let me pull out here. It looks something similar to this. You see how it is the center of the road? That is your proposed vertical profile information. Alright, well, let me get rid of this corridor here so we can create a fresh new one. Get rid of him. He is gone. Let's get rid of this vertical information. Get rid of that. So let me show you how to make that vertical proposed profile object. Head on up to your menus. if you pull down profiles, you'll have create profile by layout, not by surface. Create profile by surface creates your profile view, if you remember. Create profile by layout creates the vertical proposed information. In this case, you'll need it for this corridor grading. Once you click on it, it will ask for your profile, in which you wish to create the proposed vertical profile object on. Click on that lovely profile you need. Once you've done that, the create profile dash draw new box will pop up with some of the basic information we covered in the past. A name, you just give it a name that everybody will understand. And remember to put today's date, even though I'll put it in the name. I'm going to put it in the description too. Okay, this section right here, you have general, which profile styles, of course, set by your CAD manager, project manager. Also, you have layers, which you wish the characteristics of that object to take a hold of. Remember that the object is still part of sub layers that create that object that's defined by the software. But profile layer, you can place it on a layer that you could turn on and off, and it will turn on and off the information. And last is your labels, your profile label set. That is also set by your CAD manager or your project manager. Just ask them which ones you wish to use. This is something new in 2009, a design criteria. If you have a design criteria set by your project manager that he's already done in the past, you can actually use design criteria box, which prompts you for design criteria. Use design criteria file, default criteria, so on and so forth. So now that you have all of that set, we're actually not going to use a design criteria. We're just going to create your basic one as you go along. We're just going to create it. Make sure that's unclicked. Once all this information is placed in, click OK. Your profile view tool will pop up. It's kind of divided into three different sections. One being create tangents. The next one's being editing tangents, and the last is undo and redo. This section right here is create, edit, and then undo, redo information. What we're going to do today is create a center line on the road in which you know that there's curves between tangents when you design a road. So we need to set the settings for those curves. If you pull down your draw tangents draw tangent box, you have your curve settings down at the bottoms. If you click on that, this is where you set your curve information, your length, your K for both crest and sag curves. I mean, it just can go on and on. All these lovely information which we're going to use. We're going to use a length of 150 feet. So we'll design it pretty much with that in mind, 150 foot radius, or 150 foot length of radius. Hit OK once you have all the settings set. If you pull down the draw tangent again, just to start creating your tangent, pull it down, hit jump onto draw tangent with curves, click on that. It will ask for the starting point of your tangent, which in this case we are actually going to start here. And as you see, it is actually creating tangents as we go along and lovely areas. Just pop it here. Now I'm going to move up here. It doesn't seem like a layer is turned on or something. It displays some information. Let me check that real quick. You know what? I'm going to select all. I'm going to turn all my layers on so that you can see everything that I have in this drawing. Maybe maybe I need to turn off the images here. Images, image, get rid of him. Alright, well he is not on the right layer here. I'm sorry about that, just give me a few minutes and I'll get back to what we were doing. Okay, scroll in here. Profiles, remember this is the exact same way you create tangents. Profiles created by layout. I'm selecting. I'm just going to give it today's date. Tens or sevens, 8. Click on pull down. I think that's all set. And so is the curve settings. I'll create draw tangent with curves. Click the endpoint here and see if it does what I was thinking. Alright, as you see here, when you're creating a tangent, or as you're creating a tangent, and you select your PVIs, you'll see that a curve is created as you're creating a tangent. If your curves do not show up, such as do this, and there's not a curve section in between the tangents, that either means that per the curve settings, your design criteria, there's no way that a curve can be placed in there, or you made a fudge and you need to change your design criteria. So I would go back and check your settings. But you just kind of click away wherever you need a turn. See how it created the arc in here. This is not the world's perfect road section cut, but you know what, or road tangent, but you know what, it's okay. As you can tell that the labels were already created. Remember, that's what we set back at what was that box called? Back at the create profile box that showed up, it was the profile label set. So you went ahead and set up the perfect labels all the way across with the information you need as you created the profile, which is extremely neat. Once you're done creating that vertical profile, that's as easy as it gets. Just click, 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 click. Now you have your proposed vertical profile object. Once you're done with that, you just kind of enter out, head out. That's pretty much how you create your profile section. Let's go on to creating sub-assemblies and assemblies. You know what? Let me go back. Let me go back. I want to go back again and kind of go over the steps again on how to create that vertical profile tangent information. So I'm just going to delete that. Go up to your profiles. Click on to create profile by layout. Create profile by layout. Click onto your profile. Scroll across here, give it a name. In this case, I'm just going to give it today's date. Labels, remember this is the set labels which will be created as you're creating your vertical tangent and your design profile. Hit OK. Remember that the tools will pop up to set your settings for your curves, curve settings. Scroll down what you need. In this case, we are going to put 150. Pull down once you're done with the settings. Click on Draw Tangent with Curves. Start clicking for your PVIs information. And you're starting to create your vertical proposed information. And you're done. You right click enter on it, get rid of your tools, and there is your vertical proposed. Your vertical proposed profile object, which will represent the center line of your road. Alright, so now that we have the alignment, which represents the horizontal center line of it, and you have your proposed vertical profile object, which represents your vertical information found on your road, which is called tangents as well. It is time to do the cross section of your road, which is assemblies and sub-assemblies. All right, if you look over here to the right, I have a couple of them already created. This is what we're looking at getting, not this bottom one right here. This one right here is what we're looking at doing. So how you actually start doing that is you come up to corridors and voila, create assembly. This create assembly box will pop up. Give it the same kind of information we got in the past. Enter a name that everybody will understand. Give a name everybody. We'll get description. Remember today's date. Assembly style. Code set. That is all kind of set by your project manager or your CAD manager. It kind of doesn't matter. It's not anything that is being displayed on the final product. All right. Once you hit OK, it will prompt you for a baseline location of your assembly. You can click anywhere in your model space. It will zoom into it, and it's beautiful. It's right there. Now, once you're done with that, it's time to actually add sub-assemblies to this assembly to create your cross section of your road. Now, how you actually do that is you need to pull up your tool palettes. You can either do that from hitting Control 3. You can go also up to General, and there's your tool palettes window. I always have mine down here on the left because I use it for inserting blocks and many other things. So I'm actually going to drag this guy. Oh, do I have it locked? Nope. I'm actually going to drag this guy out so you can see him a little bit better. Pull him right here to the left. Now it's a little bit of a working screen, but that's okay. There are six, I believe, 6 different tabs that six different tabs that show assemblies and sub-assemblies. Something new in 09 is you can actually save full assemblies on your tool palettes, but I'm going to show you how to create one from scratch. All right, so this is kind of neat. You have a basic assembly, basic line transition, divided highway. I mean, this is gorgeous. So many different things. And once you create a couple that you need, you just pop it in there. Okay, so let's create one. Basic assembly. We're going to let's see. Basic lane. Something real basic and simple. Once you find what you need into your assembly, click on one of the sub-assemblies, which in this case is going to be baseline. It will then ask for the mark point within assembly. If you click on your assembly baseline, it'll create the side of the road or the assembly that you need. Now you're saying, okay, well, that's nice, but we put it to the right. What if I want to go to the left? You can change the properties of your sub-assembly as you're creating your assembly simply by using properties. You come over and you use your properties. You can actually decide a side. You can actually decide a width, a depth, a slope, everything you need. In this case, we're just going to go to left. I want to keep it at 12 feet. Also, this can be done after creating your assembly by highlighting the object and heading over to your properties. Alright, so in this case we're going to go to left. Once I'm done with that, I just scroll back over to my baseline, click on it, to your left. Alright, let's put in curb and gutter or something on here. Let's see. Putting in curb and gutter. Basic curb and gutter. Select the object. Now, your next assembly, your next section, you want to click onto the red. See how it's red, red. Click onto the red. It'll place it. Oh, it placed it to the left. Boom. Okay, that one's fine, but this one's not. All right. If you click on that object, remember? Come on now. Just wait a minute. The software seems to be thinking. See, all I would do to change this really quickly is actually highlight that object, head over to your properties. Oh, I do have to recreate that. I thought I could change it that way. Anyways, hit your basic curve and gutter, head over to your properties, change your left to your right, hit it, and there you go. That's essentially how you create your assembly. You know what, I'm going to do a basic shoulder. Head over to properties, make sure it's on the right side. Before I hit right, click it. There's my basic shoulder. And then on the left side, click it on the left side. Boom. Shoulder set. Now what I'm going to use is this. I'm going to make one more. I'm going to list this one so I can see what this was called. Basic side slope cut ditch. Alright. Going to use this to go to the surface. Click on mark point. In this case, you know what? You can also, if you find something you need, you can actually copy it, but let's just do this basic thing. Alright, that's to the left. Click on here, boom, left, cut fill to surface information. It's pretty much what I'm doing. Alright? And boom. This is how you create your assembly using subassemblies. Okay? So in other words, this is a subassembly, one little section. That. That's a subassembly. An assembly is all of them put together, which is represented by that base point. Okay? That is neat. Once you have your cross section, your assembly, subassembly, all right, you have the three major components, which is part of the 5, which is assemblies, profile, subassembly, assembly, and surface. Surface, of course, you need to create the profile you need to create your corridor. All right. So now that we have all of those components ready to go, the 3 major ones you need are the alignment, profile, and assembly. Remember, this information is alignment, your horizontal centerline information of the road, your profile, your vertical centerline information of the road, and your assembly, which starts at the base centerline of your road and does a basic cross section across the road. All right. Now that we have all this information ready to go and ready to create your corridor, it's time to create your corridor. All right. If you head on up to corridors and you scroll down to create simple corridor, click on that. It brings up again a basic information box. Give it a name. I'm just going to give it today's date. Sorry, it's a 7. And give it the exact same kind of description. I'll give it the description you need. Corridor style, we're just going to go with basic corridor layer. We'll continue with that. Click OK. Now here's a kind of a trick, a little tip for you. It asks for a baseline alignment, and it gives you a selection box. That is really neat to do, but you can kind of get lost in the fact of searching around for your alignment. But if you notice at the bottom, it says press the enter key to select from a list. That's what I always do. Always press enter, and boom, I've got a list of the alignments I have in my drawing. Some of these, I know that's kind of confusing, but the road that we did, where is, oh yeah, wait, it's road design, which we created in 1908, it was a while ago. Click OK. It'll then prompt you for the profile information. Press enter. You see it already selected your alignment. You've already selected alignment, so it knows which profile to go on. And this is where you select your proposed vertical profile object, which is the center line alignment vertical information of your road. So you just select, we got 10708, which is the one that we created. Click OK. And then for the last piece, your assembly, press enter to get a list from it. Select an assembly. In this case, we are actually going to use one that I've already preset, this road cross section. Click OK. And now it'll actually bring up a target mapping box, which was on my screen here. Target mapping box, in which now you can, with the basic side slope cut ditch, or your cutting or filling to your surface information, you tell it to cut and fill to that surface, which in this case is the existing surface. So we're actually going to click here to select all. We're going to use existing surface. Boom. Now a corridor will cut and fill based off of the subassembly cut and fill information to the surface. Click OK, and it will start creating your corridor. Scroll over here to your corridor, and voila, you have your brand new corridor, which represents your road. Now that you have it, just click on it, right click, use an object viewer, view your gorgeous creation now. Let me use this lovely thing here. See? Lovely road, vertical road, ready and set to go. You see how it is actually cutting and filling to your surface. Alright, the elements you need to create the corridor, which was your alignment, which shows the vertical information, or your horizontal information of your profile. Second, you need vertical information, which would be your profile object, proposed vertical profile object. And then what you need next is your assembly, which if you zoom in here, you could see road, shoulder, cut to fill, ditch. Voila! You have your assembly, and that's all it is to create assembly. So we just covered over the basics on creating an assembly. I think next time we're going to cover over editing corridor information, so that if something changes along your design, such as your engineer says, I want a 13-foot wide road and not a 12-foot wide road, how easy it is to change that kind of information along with your cut and fill. You can actually change, hey, I don't want 2-to-1, I want 1-to-1, or I want 4-to-1, or whatever you need. It could be done, created real easy, and the corridor will create, and so will the surface. We'll also show you how to create a surface from this corridor next week, or next time. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I hope it was very helpful. I hope it wasn't too confusing. I know it's kind of in and out, but check out the handout. It might do you a little bit better good. I hope everybody has a great day, and I will see you next time.